And it's getting back to Penn and Teller. Am I right in thinking that on their show Fool Us, you were the only magician to fool them?
No, definitely not. No, I was the first one to fool them.
The first one.
I was the first guy to fool them on their show Fool Us, which what happened was they did a special first, which was I think a 1.5 hour special. Basically, it was a broadcast special to see whether the format would work. And there was, I don't know, there was 10 or 11 magicians on that. I can't really remember. And 2 of us fooled them. I was the first one, and a brilliant card magician called Ben Earl. Well, not just cards, close-up magician, fantastic. And he fooled them as well, just after me, literally, 10 or 15 minutes after me when we were filming. So yeah, my only claim to fame is possibly the first one. But then they then made a series about 4 or 5 months later. And I think in that series of maybe about 35, 40 magicians, I think 7 or 8 fooled them.
7 or 8. Was it a nerve-wracking experience for you? Because with something like this, I've got control. If I cock up, I know I can cut something out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got control. It's my thing. And with your shows, you must have a certain element of control. You know what's coming. You know what's happening. But with being on someone else's show and having the thought that millions of people on primetime TV are watching you. Did that do anything inside? Were you more nervous than normal?
Yeah. Do you know what? It was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've done. And if I watch the clip, which is available on YouTube, it got taken off actually. It got up to about 2 million views, and then they decided to make the series in America, which they've just been doing. And so everybody who had it on YouTube got told they had to take it down by YouTube, by the company who made the program. But anyway, that's a sideline.
It's on there. I'll put the link. We'll put the link.
Put the link. It's on there again. But anyway, if you watch the clip of me doing it, and certainly people who know me, you can see that I'm actually nervous. Certainly at the start of the routine, I'm certainly not as relaxed as I would normally be. So if you watch the clip of me, for example, in Dave's One Night Stand, which is also available on YouTube, I'm much more relaxed on that. And there was 2 reasons, I think, why I was nervous. One of them was because it was TV, and that's going to be that. But I wasn't too worried. But it was it was effectively live because I knew that I'd just got one shot at it. It wasn't like I've done other TV since, and it's like, oh, can we film that again? And we'll do that. You can retake, and if the trick doesn't work, and you can rehearse it lots and lots in front of the people you're going to do it for. But it was TV, and it was effectively as live, even though it wasn't live. But the main thing was that I was performing it in front of 2 magicians whose sole aim was to try and work out how the trick was done. And
these are guys at the top of their game as well.
They're arguably 2 of the greatest working magicians in the world today. They're certainly up there in my top list of acts that I'd want to go and see, and do go and see whenever I'm in Vegas. But 2 of these top guys. And I've performed for magicians. I've performed at loads of magic conventions where magicians know how I do everything. So I wasn't bothered about that. But this was, 2 magicians who know how most tricks are done and have seen lots of magic and devised their own tricks that are, ingenious and fool people and fool me. Their bullet catch, I haven't got a clue. So
at one point, didn't you say that Teller, you could see Teller looking at your hands?
Well, what happened was I came on and I was very nervous. So I decided I wasn't going to look at them. I thought, I can't look at them. To try and keep myself in my comfort zone, I thought I'll look at the audience because I'm used to looking at the audience, and I thought I'll see them reacting, I'll see them laughing, it'll be all right. So I went out, and they were sat right in the middle, Penn and Teller, in 2 seats. So I looked to the left, and then I looked up above their heads and looked across the audience behind, and then down to the right, and then I went up and across again. And I never looked at them until I felt relaxed, and that was after maybe I'd handed out 1 or 2 of the envelopes. I can't remember the moment. But I decided, I feel a little bit more relaxed now, I'm going to look. And I looked, I cracked the gag, and there was a pause where I could sort of look at the audience and relax. And Penn threw his head back and was laughing. I thought, great, Penn's laughing. Teller wasn't laughing at all. Teller was just, he was staring like that. He wasn't even looking at my eyes. He was looking at the envelopes in my hand, and he was just watching. That's
intense.
And I thought, he's just burning. It's a phrase we have in magic that your hands are being burned by the eyes. They just won't let you go. And then suddenly I thought, I'm not looking again. so then I started looking at the audience again. But yeah, I was very nervous. Funnily enough, the prize was to go in Vegas and perform in their show.